video chock full of quarters.
Let's get collecting. Let's see what we got for quarters. Oh, look at that. Grab a handful of quarters and we're going to put it into the case. So let's see how we did this week. Let's look at the quarters first. Oh, a little more than extra. There we go. We do need to do an audit of this because we haven't done one in a while, which means we got to count everything that's in there. Those are this week's numbers. Well, let's take a look. Boy, this is messy. This is a messy stack. Yeah, it's all up in there. Yep, I don't know if you can see that. It's a messy stack. And so how do we tell about, so I don't know if you can see it, but right here is some flashing numbers, and it's flashing 8.0, which I believe in this book is, in our book, it's low magnetics rejected bill. That means, because, I don't know if you all know this, but all bills are magnetic. Or magnetic properties in it to help with the sensors in these. The other thing we've been wanting to try, this is one of Greg's kind of, I think, things. Greg, our nephews call him the $2 uncle. Why do they call him the $2 uncle? Because Greg carries around a bunch of $2. He tips with them, he gives them to the coffee girl, and our nephews, when we go to visit, he is the $2 uncle. So we're gonna see if a $2 bill will go into the change machine. Oh, not that way, but let's try this way. I guess it won't take a $2 bill. That was actually surprising because I actually didn't know. Also, if you notice, I'm gonna tell you something about these machines. See how the bill is going this way? And usually a lot of vending machines will show you a bill to insert it this way. This change machine, made by Hamilton, will, there's a couple of dip switches in there that you can hit so that the bill can be taken facing either way or upside down. We don't do upside down, we just do the facing either way. It's just easier to straighten out the money. So that's what set it off. Now, the $2 bill did set off a number code as a rejected bill, and it was 4.3, I believe it was. So it would have been a rejected bill validator optic error. And if we see those, that means I usually have to clean. I have to clean this, and I will show you. It's in one of my tips on how to clean the bill validators, which they generally need to be cleaned. Let's just take a peek at soda. Oh my goodness! Oh, look at this, Greg. What happened to orange? Did you just fill it?
No, that's the one I didn't fill.
Oh, you didn't fill orange? Oh, okay. So we need to fill orange.
Root beer and all the other stuff.
I'm thirsty. I'm gonna take one. We need to fill Coke again, right?
Yeah, looks like it.
Yeah.
So orange and Coke.
Okay. Well, let's get ready to do this. Let's get this collection started. So we're gonna start the collection with vending.
Let's see where we're at. Bills.
Can't really see. Oh, cut them up.
$12.
Still not seeing any nickels. And we're still not sure why we're not finding, the machine must be giving out more nickels as change, and I think it's because I do have things set at 85 cents. So it's giving out a lot of nickels and people aren't putting them back in. It's gotta be. I don't think there's a nickel monster. So next week we got a new piece of equipment coming. We have a gimbal coming. So we hope that the videos won't be so shaky. And actually, after you do that, I'm going to change the camera.
Let's see how we did. Better than last week, I think.
Better than $4?
1, 2, 3,
Oh.
4, 5, $6.
Nice. 4. 2 weeks ago was 4. Last week was 5. And today is 6.
50% improvement.
Yeah.
I should change.
Less change, more dollars. So yes, we have a gimbal coming next week, and I'm hoping. Okay, so if anybody knows how to I know I say the word too much. So how do I get myself to stop? If anybody has any tips, I'd love to hear it.
I can't help.
Yeah. Can you hold on 1 second? I gotta.
Work anything.
Okay, go ahead. Yep. Oh, that was good. Oh, nice. And I missed it. I was worried about all of the cold dials. I know this one's probably going to be really good.
Pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay, boys and girls, it's story time.
So
I think we're going to tell you the story of the counterfeit bill.
yes.
How we came to get it.
So you've seen the pictures of the counterfeit bill. So was it about 3 or 4 months ago? I think it was like closer to 3 months ago. Sometimes
Around Thanksgiving, yeah.
Yeah, it was right around Thanksgiving. Sometimes I don't have to deposit money every week. Sometimes I can go two weeks without having to make a deposit, and that was what was going on. I had a stack of money, and I said let's get it to the bank, because we don't generally keep cash at our office or at our house, so we generally will make deposits pretty quickly. It's just we had a lot of stuff going on, and so I was counting through the money, and I'm counting the tens, and a bell went through my fingers, and I knew immediately, oops, sorry, I didn't catch that. I knew immediately something was wrong. And I was like, wow, this feels weird. So I handed it to Greg and I said, does this feel funny to you? And he's like, yes, it does feel funny to me. So he hands it back to me, and I'm like, I think I actually looked at him, I'm like, that's all you have to say? It feels funny to you? And he just kind of looked at me like, yeah, it feels funny to me. So I looked at it again, and I said, I think this might be counterfeit. And he says, really? I was like, yeah, I think it's counterfeit. So I hand it back to him, and he says, this is not counterfeit, Tammy. I'm like, it's not? Then what's wrong with it? And he's like, it's movie money. And I'm like, what? And he says, did you not look at it? And I was like, no, not really. And when you look close, what's missing on the bill?
Was it the word?
No, the T.
Oh, in the where it says United States of America, it's United States of America, SATES.
And then down in the bottom, in the bottom corner, it said replica.
Yeah.
And then over where it's supposed to say federal note, it says
This is movie money.
this is movie money. I mean, it was just, and we started really looking at it.
Yeah.
So
It's prop money.
so then we were trying to figure out. So it's prop money. So then we were trying to figure out where it came from. And Greg was telling me that week he had gone out to do some shopping for Thanksgiving. He had stopped off at a couple of convenience stores. We know it didn't come out of the change machine. And how do we know that? Because we showed you the test. It did. So that is the story. Well, we still and here's why we didn't call Secret Service. Why? Because it's not
counterfeit.
It's not counterfeit. It's movie money. And we had also read, we had kind of Googled, should we call the police with counterfeit money? And do you know, I found a forum about it, and most people on the forum are like, their police departments would have just laughed at them and said, we're not taking it. So we didn't, and it's movie money, they wouldn't have taken it anyways. But for what? At least that whole day we were kind of freaking out about it. Or at least I was, because I didn't want to be in possession of counterfeit money. I didn't, because we're good people. We don't want to break the law. And Greg wasn't freaking out too much though. I was. So that's the story of our counterfeit money.
So basically that whole story was to tell you we have no idea where we got it.
Yeah.
But
it was exciting for us at the time.
Yeah.
At the time.
We're like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
At
Yeah. At the time, it was pretty exciting stuff going on. But you know what?
My whole life at my age, I would think I would have come across that, and I never have.
Nope.
That's the first time for me. So.
Plus, it's just the two of us at home now, so it's kind of like, little stuff excites us. Today, we got a lot of questions. Okay, somebody wanted to know where we were. And all we're going to say is that we are on the East Coast. And that's all we're going to say. We're not going to give our location. Just because I really don't think it's really that necessary to know, where we're from.
And I did empty this.
Did you empty it?
You to make sure we didn't, get jammed up. So it was full. It's now spread out in the machines. So.
I'm trying to think. We had a lot of questions that I do want to answer. Somebody wanted to know. Well, hold on, I gotta change out the battery. We'll be right back. So what we're gonna do is, while Greg is doing, I need to. Oh, wait a minute.
That's nice.
Ooh, that's beautiful. Look at that. Okay, so we're gonna answer a couple of questions. Hold on a second. Okay. We're gonna answer a couple questions, and I also want to give a couple of shout outs, because I'll be honest with you, I love everybody who is writing in the comments, and I just absolutely think it's fabulous. So Hathaway Tools, thank you. Thank you for finding us. I'm glad you like the channel. We will be doing that video. It's on the list. Travis Whiting, I'm so glad that you're here. Thomas Perkins, I'm glad you like the stories. Petty MH2000. Yes, we only have the one laundromat. I believe we went over that briefly in another video. We would love to buy more, but again, in our city, there is one man who owns 90%, so they don't come up very often. And us doing a new build is pretty much out of the question. I really don't want to have to go and look for $500,000 to build a new one. DJSS, welcome. Traptown HTC. Yes, we would like to be Facebook friends. Not Facebook. What is this? I'm
YouTube.
sorry. YouTube friends. We'd like to be YouTube friends, but don't expect any Christmas cards. Pat S. So glad you found us. Jenna H. Heaven 123. You wanted to know about what as I know you had a couple of questions in here, but I'm going to answer this. What would we have done if he violated the 5-mile clause? I would have sued him. And I would have sued him because
Hey, I'm glad you're still here. Code to win these quarters is coming up.
he knew, and we had already spoke to the attorney, and I really can't remember what he had said about it or the legal part of it, but he said we would have had a case because he would have had the upper hand when it comes to obtaining customers and running the laundromat because we were new. This was our first laundromat, and he would have had the upper hand. So, but I think he was, Greg, can you hold on one second? I lost my page. Okay. So I believe that's what it was because he had been in the business and he would have had the upper hand. Larry D, welcome. Larry Devine, welcome. Rizzy 23 Meadow 83018 Martinez. Wow, what a name. There is a difference between the dollars that we count and the coins that we count. You have to remember that the paper money that we count comes from the change machine. Our customers also bring quarters in. So we always have a surplus of quarters.
Almost always.
Almost always. Sometimes during the first week of the month we don't. But most often every other week we do. B. Smith, thanks for the comment. Let's see. Pat S. Yes, we do count our coins. Pat, if you haven't seen our other videos, go ahead and take a look. We count with our coin counter, and then with the surplus that we have, we go home, and this man rolls them all by hand. Our coin counter actually will roll the coin for us, but the attachment we had for it broke.
Yeah.
So now my wonderful husband does it. But it's good because he gets to watch TV while he does it. So
I bought those little red coin rollers, so just so you know, I'm not actually counting out that many quarters.
no, he's got a little.
I have a full funnel thing I
Yeah.
put into. That helps.
But it helps. But he takes his time because then he gets to watch TV. Justin, thank you for the comment. Web City Films, thank you for, you entered. Glad you're here. So that was just comments from just today. I mean, I'll be honest with you. You know, we're at 87 subscribers and we are blown away. I mean, I don't know if I'm supposed to be excited at 87 subscribers, but I'm just amazed. I'm amazed that people want to see us and see this. Greg, hold on one second. I need to do the camera again. I mean, are you amazed that people want to see this?
Yeah, I actually, you know, it's like, why would anybody want to watch me do this? You know, but I guess if it's something that I never would have saw myself doing and most people wouldn't, you know.
We said to our daughter that our daughter, she's 29, and I called her, and I said to her, we're blowing up, and she's like, Mom, you're not blowing up when you, and she's just like, you don't know what blowing up really means, and I'm like, well, to us we are, because we're just excited, we're enjoying this, we really are. You know, never did I, in my wildest dreams did I think that we would actually put ourselves out there to show you this. Because as much as you think, oh, it's just quarters and money, it's a little more than that. This is our baby. You know,
This is our retirement.
This is our retirement. It really is.
You know, what we do, you know, have investments. This is the main one.
This is our main investment. Yes, we have 401ks. But how did we get this to? Okay, let's talk about that. Let's just real quick, because I told you we're going to do the story of us. So what is, hold on one second, I'm going to put this down and I'm going to come over there with Greg. So what is the,
Sorry.
what is, okay, this car's over there.
Sorry.
So we're gonna go real, just a kind of like a little bit of a teaser. How did we get this? Here's how we got this. We got scared and we cashed out our 401ks because the economy was collapsing. We put everything into cash, and I had been researching.
Yeah.
I had been
She
researching.
had gone on the blogs and been doing all the research
Blogs,
of the forums. I'm sorry, forums. This is back in 2008, and been doing like 6 months of research on what's buying a laundromat and what's good reasons to buy a laundromat, and it was recession-proof, all-cash business, all the
Passive
benefits,
income. It was all the stuff that
That's everything everybody hears, but as we learned, it's not 100% true. But
you can't give them too much.
Sorry.
So the funny story is that we were cashing in our 401ks, and we ended up finding this place, and then we bought it as everything was collapsing, and I'll tell you a little bit.
We wouldn't have been able to.
You're right. You're absolutely right. If we had left our money in our 401ks, we wouldn't have been able to do anything. But I remember, I think the funniest thing of the whole thing was your mother. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
she was just absolutely livid that we had bought this laundromat. You bought Blue Sky. She did. That's what she kept calling us. She kept telling us that we bought Blue Sky, and it took us almost a month to convince her it wasn't just Blue Sky.
Yeah.
But we will tell you the rest of that story, because it was a process from the time that we decided to buy this place to the time that we actually pulled cash in our 401ks. We both lost 10 grand. We both lost 10 grand, and that was just so sad, because I was like, it just disappeared overnight. So now, if any of you is following Keening, that almost sounds very similar to what happened with him, and it's kind of funny, because there's a lot of stuff. And he's got a great channel. If you have a chance to check him out, check out Following Keenan. I watch him, and we also follow Investment Joy too. Why? I found it amazing that I wanted to watch other laundromat owners. And it turned out to be.
You can always.
We can relate.
Oh, we can relate, and you can always learn something. Don't ever think you know everything.
Yep,
you don't.
You don't.
I learn things every time I come in here. I'm like, oh, okay. Here's a better way to do this.
Yep.
I watch him. Oh, okay.
Hey, look what he's doing.
We should try that. That might work better for us.
Yep.
Sometimes it does. Sometimes it doesn't.
So if you get a chance, go over and take a look at them.
Yeah.
But it's funny, Keenan and I's our stories are very similar, and the way he does things are very similar to what we do. So I don't know if it's you just kind of get into that rhythm, or if it's, I don't know how we kind of do things the same way, but it just happened to be that way. So
sometimes you figure it out on your own. Sometimes it's the old owner is like, here's what I do. Here's what you should do. Okay.
Okay.
And, you do that. And
let's get caught in the quarters, because we've been talking too long. Okay. Need a shot? You need a shot? Oh, what are we going to? Okay, so that 43.68, what that is all of those quarters right there, with the quarters that are inside the change machine will now add up to $1,200, and that's what, because that's what our change machine holds. So, and we're still on washers. We're still doing washers. One second, let me see if I can get a better shot for here. Let's see. Hold on one second. Okay. Here we go. Let's see. Let me get to our page today. This is really hard. I'll tell you, this is really hard to do while we're... Okay, hold on. What's the date today?
The 21st.
The 21st. Let's see. Washers. Dryers. What do we at washers?
Washers at 1146.50.
That's very good. That's actually really good. And then we're going to do dryers. We do soap and vending. So
Jot down the 45.86.
45.86. Now we're going to do dryers. Now, the money that, hold on a second before we start. So this money that is going into this bucket, because the bucket underneath is going into the change machine. This bucket here is going to go home with us. And here's what we do with it. We take out $500 in quarters, because that gets put in back into the change machine in the middle of the week to help replenish the quarters. Then whatever is left over, Greg will roll, and that will go to the bank. That is the gift supporter that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
$488.75.
Oh, that's actually really low for our dryers. I wonder what's going on. That's actually quite low. Let's do the soap. Okay, let's see. Whoop. Well, that went a little fast, so hold on 1 second. Okay. So, if you remember last week, we did pretty well in soap. This week, not so much. And it might have something to do with dryer. It's probably also has to do with the fact that we are out of dryer sheets, which they are on their way. We order from, all of our supplies, soap supplies, and some parts from Norton Supply in Rhode Island. And they have really great customer service, and they're very quick with their shipping, and they have great prices too. And so for anybody who didn't see one of our first videos, in the beginning, in the front of our book, we have these numbers. At the beginning of this video, I showed you the number, which is, it's gonna be written right here after Greg does it. This is the number from last week, and we subtract the two numbers, and that gives us the number of, what was it, 1666? This is what we did for in paper, what changed out this week. We did 1,666. This 574, that's the amount of quarters we put in this week. Midweek, when we put in our surplus of quarters. So you will see two numbers. This number here, when we count the paper, we should come up with 1666. Unless, and I'll tell you something, sometimes Greg and I, we like to go to Waffle House after we collect. So it might be short 20 bucks. So now we're gonna do vending.
Yeah.
Let me hold it here.
665.
Ready?
Yeah.
Hang on, I want to get. Wow, look at our little box. It's all dimes. $3.50 in dimes.
For a grand total of
wait a minute.
Sorry.
Wait a minute. Can you take that? You gotta do my book. What's some vending?
55.25.
55.
Do you have the numbers?
Yeah, you're gonna.
1721.50.
Okay, thank you. And that is what we did this week. It's okay. We've done better. I'm a pattern person. I like to know the patterns. We have months in weeks that we get into these really good patterns. You know, when it's off a little bit, I get concerned. You know, I wonder, is it something we're doing wrong? Is it something we're doing right? So that's what it is. Last week was 1740. Let's see, go back. Week prior to that was 1752. And the week before that was 1683. So, actually it's really not that bad of a week. It's average. You know, this might be our new average right now. We'll see. We'll have to see. Okay, no, we didn't forget. Greg's gonna do, so this is last week. He's almost got it up to half off. So, I don't know, I don't know what kind of a handful he's gonna grab this week. So we're gonna say Ooh, let's see.
Still above half.
Oh, it is still above half. Let's bring it over here again. Let's see what we got. Ooh, what was that? It's making a weird noise. So let's see where we're at. We are above half. We're at, yeah, we're, depends on where we are. Okay. We're at half. That's good. Because you know what? We're going to give we pretty much had determined that we were giving away a can every 4 weeks, right? It was going to take 4 weeks to fill up. So that gives you time. You should be able to, with the amount of videos that we're going to be doing in 4 weeks, that's going to give you a lot of entries. So remember,
look for the code word.
look for the code word.
Code
And
word.
what else you have?
Hit the like button, hit the bell, hit the subscribe button. That's the only way you can win.
If you want to be
Chock full of quarters.